All right, Unit 3, Lesson 5, the need for programming languages. So, we did an activity in class today, and I'm going to just kind of review the main takeaways. But in lieu of that activity, I have posted a YouTube video for you to watch that essentially does the same thing. So, we were looking at what it takes to write good instructions. We all use instructions all the time, whether it's directions to get somewhere, instructions to fill out a form, or even instructions from teachers. So, to help us get started, we brainstormed what bad instructions looked like. So, why would you call a set of instructions bad? You might say the instructions are not clear on what to do. They have confusing words, or they don't actually accomplish what they're supposed to. Um, and so we have an idea of what bad instructions look like, and we were going to try to see if we could write good instructions. So I gave everybody a set of Legos, and they were asked to write a simple step by step process of how to put the Legos together to create a certain design. And so everybody had the same Legos. We just switched instructions at some point, and then we saw, can we use this other person's instructions to create the Legos that they intended to create? And so along the way, we saw a lot of things that were still not done correctly. We weren't clear enough on this or that, and in the end, not everybody was able to use the instructions to get to the end process. So, we wanted to, let me skip forward here. We wanted to think about what went wrong. And a lot of things were mentioned, like they need to be more clear or you need to include more detail. That might be true, but eventually you need to point out that human language is often ambiguous. In other words, it's not always their fault. It's just hard to do a good job with bad tools. Even trying to be as clear as possible, we struggled to write clear instructions. There are things we could do to improve, but the core challenge here is that everyday human language is bad for giving instructions. Words can have two or three meanings. Instructions that seem clear turn out to be vague when we actually go to follow them. And if we want to give clear instructions, we need to fundamentally change the language we use. We need to create a new kind of language. And so the next prompt is to imagine that you are going to redesign human language to be really good for giving clear instructions. What types of changes would we need to make? So that discussion brought up that um, when running a second, oh, sorry, no, we're thinking about when you write a program, you're just giving instructions to a computer for what it should do to run your app. And as you see, the programming language we use to give these instructions sometimes looks like English, but then has a lot of weird and sometimes confusing differences. This is because it needs to be more precise and unambiguous than normal human language. And we'll dive into this more in the next lesson.